Hey guys, this is HD, and I'm going to be doing a 1 versus 1 on the ladder rank today. I'm actually going to be broadcasting this over YouTube, kind of just to talk about how I play myself, a little bit of first-person view videos, because I don't really do that as much as I would like to, being so occupied with casting higher level games and everything. But I am in the Platinum League. I am around ranked 1500 or something like that. I really don't have the time to play all that much. Anyways, it looks like the map is going to be Incineration Zone. Now, most players consider this map, myself included, we consider this map somewhat imbalanced for Zerg because of the fact that the rush distance is really close, which I guess you could, if you wanted to, you could 6-pull. But the way the map is designed, there's a lot of chokes, and there's not a lot of open space. And Zerg likes open space, so because there's not a lot of open space, you can't surround, you can't flank, you can't get nice concaves when you attack. And so that favors Protoss and especially Terran heavily because they can get their units on those ramps, on those chokes, and they can fight in a much more favorable terrain. As well as Terran, they can actually use Reapers really well on this map, especially on those natural expansions. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you play on Incineration Zone. I believe it to be a pretty Zerg unfavored map. And on top of that, most players like to really rush and do kind of cheesy tactics. So as you guys can see here, just playing standard so far, because it is a very close rush distance map, I'm probably going to get a 13 pull instead of a 14 or 15 pull, maybe even a 14 pull. But if you guys watch my games lately, I usually do a 15 pull nowadays. It's pretty standard. It's actually kind of safe, unless your opponent really dedicates to cheesing you. So you guys can see here, I'm now at 13 drones, and I'm going to save up for a spawning pool right at 200 minerals. So this is super safe. This is going to prevent any kind of a rush tactic in case my opponent tries to proxy me. Notice that his probe was quite early as well, which has now been destroyed. So that indicates to me he might have tried something, but now that the probe has gone down, there's probably not going to be a double gateway proxy or anything like that. So I am going to safely go ahead and grab my fast expansion as soon as I have 200 minerals. That is when you send your drone off your mineral line to tell it to build that expansion.
We require more minerals.
Now Incineration Zone has 2 spawn points only. It's a 2-player map. It's not cross-positional spawn points. As you guys can see, I have now scattered my opponent. He is the red Protoss. And what worries me already is the fact that I don't see a pylon or a gateway inside his base, especially on that ramp. So that's a bit worrisome, and as you guys can see, I'm not going to get a queen right away. I'm going to get some Zerglings as well. It's really important if you don't see a pylon or gateway to get Zerglings out early, just in case your opponent tries to rush you with some kind of early tactic. So I do have 2 Zerglings on the way right now, and as you guys can see, all those eggs are morphing into Zerglings right now. I still don't know what my opponent is trying to do on this map. So as soon as you see this, alarms kind of ringing in my head already saying, okay, I need a lot of Zerglings. Could possibly be some kind of a queen attack, but now I see on the minimap he's actually got a forge out. Okay, so now what's going on in my head is my opponent has decided to go for a forge fast expand. You guys can see that he's got a gateway and a cannon going up behind the forge as well. And you guys can see on this map how narrow those chokes are, really unfavoring the Zerg. You can wall off with a simple gateway and forge, and just 1 cannon is all it's going to take. So I'm not going to be able to bust that down. So as soon as I see that, that tells me, okay, now I need to start pumping drones hardcore, because my opponent is not going to be attacking me anytime soon. Not at all, no chance. He's only got 1 gateway, he's invested in a forge and a cannon, and he's most likely going to throw down a nexus to make use of that fast expansion, of that forge blockade. He's most likely going to fast expand, so I'm not going to expect any kind of pressure, any kind of attacks for about the next 5 minutes. One option I have is just mass drones, possibly get a 3rd expansion as well. And really, one thing you can exploit against a Protoss player when they fast expand is going for fast mutas. Because they have 2 bases to defend, especially if you guys look at that mini-map, that natural expansion is really easily exploitable with mutas. So that is something you can definitely try as well if you are facing this kind of a situation. Now notice I am getting my layer, I am getting another gas. I'm also destroying these rocks because that's just going to give me another avenue that I can use to attack my opponent. So anything as a Zerg player where you can open up back doors, open up these kind of other side terrains so you can get access to your opponent's base, hugely helps. So why not use my Zerglings to attack that? I know that he's not going to come with any pressure for a good long while. And so I'm just going to take the gamble, destroy these rocks. And as you guys can see, now that the layer is out, I am going to get my Spire down. Now it's important, if you're going to go for 2 hatch mutas, as you guys see me going for here, it's important to get all 4 gases up and mining as much as you possibly can. The mutas, the main thing that is going to restrict them is going to be the gas. You need to have 3 drones on every single gas when you go 2 hatch mutas, so that you can get anywhere from around 6 to 9 mutalisks, depending on your gas timing and how good you were. But typically a good number is 8. If you can get 8 mutas out, then you should be able to do some good harass. So here I am, I'm coming around the backside of Incineration Zone. There's another pair of rocks I can destroy, and that is going to give me access to my opponent's base. Now it's important to keep an eye on the Spire timing. When you guys see the Spire right there, when it's about 60% done, that's when you want to start saving up your minerals. You don't want to spend any more minerals at all. Even better, around 50% actually.